Last night, for the first time in history, Gus Ford recorded a hat trick in the Fairgrounds that didn't prompt hats to fall to the ice. Will he potentially score the 200th goal of his FPHL career tonight to secure an undefeated season for his new squad against his former team? Or will the Thunderbirds secure a crucial 3 points in their hunt for the final playoff spot in the Continental Division? Good evening, Crustacean Nation, and welcome to the Fairgrounds Arena in Winston, Salem, North Carolina, where the Twin City Thunderbirds host your Athens Rock Lobsters. My name is Mateen Rad, bringing you this FPHL action on the ARL Network, live on YouTube and Sporfy. Before puck drop, let's tell you everything you need to know. The Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show starts right here and right now. Last night here in Winston-Salem, the Rock Lobsters took care of business in a big way, knocking off the Thunderbirds 6-2, and it was the former Thunderbird, Gus Ford, stealing the show with his first hat trick as an Athens player. Athens couldn't have asked for a better start. Just 12 seconds in, Eric Neely cashes in off some beautiful puck movement from Philip Virgili and Joe Mack for the quickest goal in Athens Rock Lobster history. The record that was broken was Garrett Mullans in the first ever game in Athens history. Before you could ever even settle in, it's 1-0. 2 minutes later, Ford gets his first against his old club, flipping one past Boris Babic, and Athens is rolling early at 2-0. Twin City, though, did respond late in the first. Nate Keeley continuing his hot stretch to make it a one-goal game, and after a quiet second period, they find the equalizer early in the third off a net front finish from Zach White. But that momentum, it lasted all of 11 seconds. Right off the next shift, Ford gets a piece of a Jesse Lowell shot and slides it through the 5-hole to put Athens right back in front. And from there, the Lobsters took over. Luke Croucher adds one on the power play. Ford completes the hat trick, and Philip Virgili caps it with a deflection as part of a 4-goal third period. Behind it all on the other side of the ice, Carter McPhail was outstanding, stopping 43 of 45. A bounce-back win on the road, and now a milestone watch for Gus Ford, sitting at 199 career FPHL goals. Let's take a look at the Continental Division standings as the Thunderbirds make their way out on the ice. While the Bobcats, and of course this one is not working yet again, but I could just refresh this and it'll pop back up. While the Bobcats did Twin City a favor last night with a win against PD, the Snakes weren't as kind to the Crustaceans. Despite Columbus having multiple 2-goal leads, they crumbled late and fell to Monroe in overtime. However, since it was just a 2-point night for the Moccasins, Athens extended its hold atop the Continental Division to 6 points. The remaining 4 games against Monroe this season will be crucial. At this point in the season, both teams will be scoreboard watching. Every body that you can add to the fight can be a game changer, and Athens boasts a major return tonight, which we discuss in our Aikens Ford engine starters. William Lavalier makes his long-awaited return to the Athens crease after logging more than 350 minutes of experience in the ECHL, including 3 wins for the Trois-Rivières Lions. In fact, he'll be wearing his pants from Trois-Rivières tonight. The starters on the skating side of things remain the same, and why not, especially if they can score 12 seconds into the game on their first shift again tonight. No changes in the rest of the lineup either, not even the backup goalie section. Carter McPhail will get to hang out in street clothes tonight as Matt Sales will back up the Great Wall of Montreal. Starting lineup is brought to you by Aikens Ford. If you need a pickup to your day, week, month, or year, come make a deal for a pickup truck at the biggest and best Ford dealership in the Peach State. This marks the final time that these two teams will meet this season unless the Thunderbirds can pick up the pace and secure a playoff spot after all ahead of the PD Ice Cats. That does it for our pregame show brought to you by Piedmont Athens Regional. Piedmont, real change lives here. Let's send it down to the ice for the pregame ceremony, including the national anthem, and then we'll get started with all the action on the ice.
Thunderbirds fans, please help us recognize tonight's Sign Shop Special Service member, Donald Ward. Proudly served the United States Navy from 1972 to 1978. He served as the machinist mate first-class petty officer and aircraft survival equipment specialist assigned to the Attack Squadron 203 out of Jacksonville Naval Station. He also served as a plane captain aboard the USS Saratoga, supporting the launch and recovery of aircraft during more than 150 missions in Vietnam across 2 deployments. Thunderbirds fans, please join us in thanking Donald Ward for his service. At this time, we invite all who are able to rise and remove your hats and join us in a heartfelt rendition of God Bless the USA.
The anthem has been sung. The starters are starting to move from the blue line. That means it's just about time to get started in this one. 20 minutes on the clock for the first period. The Rock Lobsters coming off a performance where they had 2 power play goals. Seems like we're seeing steady improvement on the man advantage over the past few games, specifically with the return of Eric Neely. And, of course, this Twin City Thunderbird team sports one of the bottom penalty kills in the FPHL. And I feel like that points a lot to their success or lack thereof on this season. As we have the ceremonial puck drop, let's take a quick look at the goalie matchup for tonight. William Lavalier, of course, making his return to the Rock Lobsters this season. Just 3 losses on the year for the Great Wall of Montreal. And on the other side of the ice will be perhaps the most overworked goaltender in the FPHL, Boris Babic, who has more than 2,300 minutes played this year. No other FPHL goalie has played over 2,000, and he's made 1,339 saves. No other goalie has made over 1,000. John Batista taking the draws tonight. It was Zach White, and I feel like every time we have a ceremonial puck drop, usually it's Zach White. But tonight it's the 2 captains that both wear the number 14. John Batista and the Thunderbirds hoping to take a victory off the Rock Lobsters for the first time this season. Athens has been a bit of a boogeyman for the Carolina outfit, but no better time than the present to get a win against the other team that they jousted for the top spot in the Continental Division with last year, especially if they want what is the last spot in the playoffs for this campaign. There's a look at William Lavalier. You could see he's wearing the blue and red striped pants from his time in Trois-Rivières. Joe Mack at the center circle again, but a rare face-off loss for him as Nate Keeley takes it further up. Nate Keeley, one of the hottest players in this Thunderbird team. He'll see if he can score yet again tonight, his 6 in 6 games if he nets one. Thunderbirds working up the right side, dumped in by Hanley. William Lavalier gets a chunk in, has to get back to the crease as he takes a backhand flipper from the left side, a little short angle shot. Looking for the top shelf was Jan Salak. Salak with an assist last night. He now has 18 goals and 18 assists on the year, has dealt with some injuries this season. Already the Rock Lobsters will not be able to score as early as they did last night. The fastest goal in franchise history at 12 seconds into the game. Bartuccio Pereira trying to split the ice towards Joe Mack. We already have some personnel changes as the starters go off for their first shift. Chipped in by Jack Johansson. He's wearing number 25 tonight. Bartuccio Pereira. Great pressure breaking pass. Gus Ford trying to go cross ice. Jesse Lowell's going to have to chase it down against Connor Craig. Connor Craig wearing number 15 tonight. Loose from Farmer. Lowell out in front. Milan chops at it. Couldn't direct anything towards Babbitt. Gallant. Little lead pass towards the blue line. Zach White, no looker. Pulls it off. Craig out of the corner. A snapper from right out in front. Zach White stopped by the Great Wall of Montreal. The first save made tonight. Milan cross ice for Ford. That could have been goal number 200 in the FPHL career for Ford, but he'll have to wait a little bit longer. Will Calgin have to wait? Yes, he will. It deflects out of play and into the safety netting. Already a minute 45 gone. Just one shot on net for Zach White in the game thus far. William Lavalier was able to close it down early, make his first save of the night. Here comes this new look line of Leafers, Calgin, and Croucher. Croucher just splits the two blue liners, and Shinkarik races back. Carter Shinkarik right behind William Lavalier. Shinkarik a big reason why Lavalier ended up coming to the Rock Lobsters. Johansson with a pitch at the point. So much net to aim for, and Mott can't score against his former teammate. Leafers with a big hit at the end board. Shinkarik able to get it out to the far side for John Calgin. Devin Maye in his own near side circle. Leafers at the red line, gives it up to Mott. Shinkarik reaches out, can't touch it. Mott finds some speed, steps on the brakes. Snap, cross crease pass. Stopped at the point. Matt Garcia with the play there. He's back in the lineup tonight for the Thunderbirds after missing out last night due to injury. Here he is again. Garcia sporting a recent haircut but still has the mustache. Petita around Colatarsi. Philip Virgili, zone entry on the right side. Gets knotted up in the corner. Joe Mack trying to free up space against Jan Salak, the big man from Czechia who stands at 6'5". Gets through Powell, head on a swivel. Butita on his tail. Neely loses it in the skates. Salak past him. Good poke check there by Powell. Neely looking for the neutral ice. Joe Mack couldn't settle the puck down. William Lavalier able to paddle out at it. Kyle Powell kind of got caught out. Good stick handle move from Keeley. The barometer rising here for the Thunderbirds. Kramer bounces off the check from Lowell. Got the shot off, but Mack was right out in front of him to stop it. Jesse Lowell finding another gear through the neutral zone, enters in. Lowell on the backhand, onto the forehand. It would have been a highlight reel effort. It's a great pad save instead by Babbitt. Milan, cross ice to Bartuccio Pereira. Michael Greco off the wall, chops at it. Ducked there by James Farmer. Pereira, Greco again, a little chop from Ford, poking it toward the end boards. Milan makes the read. High octane start for both of these teams in the early going. Bartuccio Pereira getting high up in the offensive mix, looking for his first goal as a Rock Lobster. Greco from the point, blocked from close range by Kramer. Milan up into the corner for Ford. Chance for the Thunderbirds to clear their lines. JBP taking it back at center ice. Michael Greco, a little bit of trickery on Gallant. Bartuccio Pereira behind the back. Milan, a one-hand pass up ahead. Didn't connect with Calgin, but Ford here from the half wall. Looking for an opening. Gets hammered into the corner by Farmer. But here's Ford again. Threads the needle, but Calgin was trying to go net front instead. Ford just about misses Milan. Jack Johansson strong on the puck. Slight deflection off the glass. Devin Maye with Dom Dumas also wearing a different number tonight with these new black and teal jerseys. Gus Ford's been on the ice a long time. He's trying to find a passing option here. Finds a good one in John Calgin. Got it on the tape. Calgin, I think, tried to snap his shot through traffic, but the traffic proved valuable for Babbitt. Great poke check there from Eli Leifers. Craig wide of the mark. Shinkarik sweeps it back behind Lavalier. Awkward bounce off the corner. Chopped over the bar. Carter Shinkarik. Circle to circle. Maye. Croucher plays it off the wall to himself. Skips off a skate. The pass from Eli Leifers. Carter Shinkarik. More than 6 minutes played now here in the opening period. Croucher eases it. Center ice. Leifers couldn't connect with Philip Virgili, and the Thunderbirds will reset. Nice little spin move from Salak to evade Croucher. Salak used his hands for different reasons last night. Got into a fight with Eli Leifers, both men standing at 6'5", a heavyweight contest, no doubt. Joe Mack with a touch in. Butita up the wall. Neely stops it with his lower body. Butita once again up the wood, and Kolatarsi the furthest Rock Lobster back. Trying to get Athens rolling back downhill, instead gives it up. Salak setting up Keeley. Falls back out in front of the net off the glass. Almost a beneficial bounce. There might be one here anyway. Sticked away by Lavalier. The Great Wall of Montreal is truly back into the fire for Athens. Salak, not sure if he was trying to thread the needle to Butita there or was trying to test Lavalier. Both Virgili and Kolatarsi get into a tussle for possession in behind Keeley. Salak almost gives it up to Neely. Garcia's going to have to field it in neutral ice. Bartuccio Pereira just back to a safe space. Michael Greco. Been a long, long time since we've had a stoppage in this game. The commercial timeout was due about 2.5 minutes ago. Nice little step there from Jesse from the block. Snaps a shot over the bar. Greco kicks it up ahead, looking for Ford. Milan, is he going to be able to make a play here with two men around him? Of course he does. Jesse Lowell with a touch pass. Couldn't get it back to the man that has the cape on his back. Garrett Milan circling around the center ice. Gets it away from Zach White. Michael Greco on the feed from Shinkarik. Returns it right back to Captain Fantastic. A little stutter step there from Shinkarik. Still Shinkarik. Milan didn't get on the end of the effort as Shinkarik was barreling through the slot. Johansson doing it himself. Gallant makes a move onto the backhand from the left circle. Feeds Hanley at the point. Hanley with a shot. Pad save Lavalier. Thunderbirds starting to find their groove a little bit. Hanley into the chest protector of William Lavalier, and that sends us to our first commercial timeout of the contest. Still no score yet, but the Thunderbirds having more shots than Athens in the early going.
As a hockey player, my health is everything to me. When I got injured,
I didn't just worry about missing games. I worried about my future in the sport I love. From the moment I met you and your team at Piedmont Athens Regional, you gave me confidence. Your expertise, your care, your support, it all reassured me from the very start. Because of you, I've been able to recover, rebuild, and get back to playing the sport I love. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dream alive. Thanks to Dr. Graff and Piedmont Athens Regional, I get to keep playing the game I love.
What a back and forth start to this game. Not a lot of stoppages either, as we were due for the 5-minute timeout about 3.5 minutes ago. It's now 11:29 remaining in the first period, and William Lavalier, just as Carter McPhail was last night, is the busier goaltender of the two against the Thunderbirds. Sherry Carr checking in from Lake Hartwell. Welcome in, Sherry. Happy to have you. Thunderbirds with an offensive zone face-off win. Johansson pirouettes, spins it up the wall. Croucher gets to the loose puck. Quick puck movement out of the zone. Thunderbirds are going to be able to get it right back in, though. Zach White didn't lose sight of it. Pass rides the line. Gallant from distance. Kramer couldn't get the shot away. Leafers made a great read there to deprive the shot of Kramer. Here's Kramer again. Leafers right next to him, though. He gets some space, and what a glove save! The Great Wall of Montreal stands tall. A flash of the leather for Lavalier in his return from the ECHL. Eli Leafers getting in the ear of the referee there. I wonder if he felt impeded by something that we weren't able to see as well up here. He now goes off toward the bench. Mack and Mott over the face-off circle. Greco helps it on to the tape of Bartuccio Pereira, who sends it high, sends it long. Thunderbirds let it fall. Farmer able to carve through the corn maze. Neely back where it came from, and he'll go off. 10:30 remaining in the first period. Still no goals in this one. Looks like we've got a penalty, and Michael Greco slams the puck off the wall in frustration, which likely tells us that Athens is going to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. That'll give Gus Ford the opportunity to be treated to a chorus of sarcastic applause from his former fans. This is a great opportunity for the Thunderbirds to do something that they could not do last night, and that's take a lead in the contest. We'll see what the call is that prompts Ford to the box. Big shout out to Tia Wise, who is part of the watch party at the Terrapin Tap Room. Big thank you to everyone tuning in, no matter where you're tuning in from. T-Birds with a face-off win. Here on the man advantage. Power play has been better than the penalty kill on the special team side for Twin City, but Kolatarski is going to be able to clear his zone. Thunderbirds looking for a way out. Puck works its way into the zone. Kramer off the pass. Was a dangerous tip. I think either Shinkarik or Kolatarski reached in for it. Deflected to the far corner. Kaysen Gallant, the Red Deer Rocket, not too far removed from that 4-goal performance he had at Aikens Ford Arena. Craig off the helmet of Lavalier. Seeing that there might have been something to do there from a tight angle, it was put back into play by the Thunderbirds towards Lavalier's crease. Really good stop there by Craig at the point. Kramer working it behind the net, trying to find someone out in front. Craig with another shot. Kaysen Gallant with a save from Lavalier. Lavalier looks like he's battle-tested from the ECHL, just as we thought he might be in his return to the Crustaceans. Still 30-plus seconds to go on the power play. First of the game. Maie can't take it through Mott. Mott really still trying to hunt it down. Greco sends it down about 150 feet. Johansson, no looker to Mott. Mott rims it around. Lavalier makes a hack. Mack trying to bring it through Salak. Mack Still trying to make a clearance. Thunderbirds have been looking for that play to make behind the net. And Gus Ford is back out on the ice. Still a shot faced by Lavalier against Chris Mott. Mott, one of the few Thunderbirds who have not found a way past a Rock Lobster goaltender this year. Johansson, another one who tries to test Lavalier. Then we go back to the commercial break. Rock Lobster's able to kill the penalty, but take a look at the difference in shots on net. Right now it's 12-3. We go to the commercial break. Still more FPHL action coming up after this.
Rock Lobster fans, this is Brad Akins. Akins Ford has led the way for years and keeps on growing. From offering the Southeast's largest inventory to being #1 in the nation in Ford truck sales, we're here to serve you. Want to customize your ride? Our Wild Willie's accessories team can make it as unique as you are. Make it legendary. Need service? Our fleet of over a dozen mobile service vans come right to you. Akins Ford and Winder. We really are closer and bigger than you think. Rock Lobsters, let's go.
Well, it's probably enjoyable, the start to this game for the neutral. I think William Lavalier would like to be seeing less shots than he's seen thus far. Already 12 saves on the night. Babic only 3 to make. And Athens hoping that they can test the Slovakian on the other side of the ice a little bit more here. Croucher takes a shove from Schnapp. Right out of the face-off. A shot right out of the draw win. Lavalier has stood equal to everything tonight. Milan with a touch up ahead. It's a line of Croucher, Milan, and Ford. We've seen this line a couple of different times before. I've described it as like the Pokemon evolution line here. Shinkarik wheeling, dealing. Croucher just trying to create space against Crowder. Bartuccio Pereira attempting the poke check to send it back up into the corner. Shinkarik has to take it in his own ice. Bartuccio Pereira on the pass. Another native of Saint-Bernard de Monterville, Quebec, just like assistant coach Brandon Picard, or Brandoin, if you will. Glove down by Gallant. Farmer through the skates. Thunderbirds still trying to get through their zone. And it's icing against the Thunderbirds. Last time William Lavalier found himself in net for the Athens Rock Lobsters was February 1st, a 7-1 win against the Biloxi Breakers. And he's looking much like Carter McPhail did last night. McPhail was the busier goaltender between he and Babic in that Rock Lobster win at 6-2. Joe Mack getting in the face of Kramer. Ford able to spin. Get it on the blade of his stick. Here he is again. Maie into Philip Virgili. He ended up getting credited for that final goal last night. Mack with a good idea. Maie was crashing a little bit too soon. A little 2-on-1. Gus Ford just about gets it there. William Lavalier stopping Gallant at point-blank range. It was those kind of distances that the Thunderbirds were able to score from last night. Gallant gets blocked. Johansson from the near side half wall. Lavalier kicks it. Gallant makes the extra pass. Pays off for Kramer. It has been a barrage for Lavalier here in the early going. Shot on goal number 16 that he faces in the contest. Tickles the twine behind him. Roman Kramer coming off of a 2-goal, 2-assist performance 2 games ago in the 6-3 win against the Biloxi Breakers. And maybe that'll wake the visitors up. It's been a little bit too much one-way traffic in this first period. Leafers. Greco unable to keep it in. Bartuccio Pereira in front of the Athens bench. Roman Kramer with his 24th of the year. Greco just waiting for the opportunity to shoot into, and John Caljan attempting to get something on the rebound. A big collision in behind. Petita on Greco. And here's Petita up again. Trying to backhand it down the Royal Road. Doesn't come off. That brings a big cheer out of the Thunderbird fans who have shown their displeasure and distaste for Michael Greco in the 2 visits previously that Athens have had here. Thunderbirds playing like their life is on the line, and it is. It's the way they should be playing. Chris Mott gets right back up after the hit from Michael Greco. Gets into it with Milan, and now here is Garrett Milan. Cross, blue line pass, Shinkarik generating speed on the backhand, but it takes it all the way back out into the middle ice. 4.5 minutes remaining, a 1-0 game. Roman Kramer with the opener after Casa Gallant made a nifty extra pass. That's a quite nifty pass from Gus Ford in its own right. A little too hard off the stick of Jesse Lowell, however. Jack Johansson, a big body in his own right. Cole Crowder, not a slouch either. Cole Crowder tried the tight angle there. We go to our final commercial timeout of the first period. Twin City have the lead this time around.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Roman Kramer scoring at a similar clip as what he did last year. 24 goals now on the season, had 27 last campaign. He and Zach White have been tasked with picking up the goal pace after the departure of Gus Ford, along with new addition Casa Gallant, of course. All of them playing on that top line for the Thunderbirds now. Doesn't deflect out of play, glove down by White. Virgili to Neely. The Ely line, as I call it. Joe Mack doesn't find a path through. Shinkarik looking for his good friend Philip Virgili. Craig up the wall and through everybody. Lavalier cleverly lets it go past for icing. For all 260 plus of you who are watching on the YouTube side, thank you so much for doing so. And if you haven't already, subscribe to play a part in our world famous chat. Like the stream and ring the bell to stay notified of all future Rock Lobster content. That includes Coach's Corners, Lobster Tales, highlight reels, and more. $13 more shots on net for the Thunderbirds in this game than the Rock Lobsters. Can they pick up that pace a little bit here, the visitors? Milan out in front of the right circle, rims it around. Neely waiting patiently, getting a shift here with Ford and Milan. Hanley surrounded by red and white. Ford fighting for it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Gets it free, but to the other team. Zach White, one of the very best skaters, but needed a little bit more on the stick handle there. Ford almost getting on the end of that Garrett Milan pass that would have sent him on a half break. Mind you, the first period in terms of shots on net was a little bit similar to what we're seeing here. It's just the Rock Lobsters have the early goals. Shinkarik around to the near side. Ford checks his back, checks his 6. Neely, did he get a touch? Milan takes a stick up high. Not seen by any of the referees, and the Thunderbirds here. Forehand, backhand. Keeley misses the net. Thunderbirds really gliding through the ice in this one. Keeley off the end boards. Butita centers it. Keeley, and now it's the Thunderbirds who will draw the penalty instead. Rock Lobsters going to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill once again, and they'll feel at the very least it should be 4-on-4. Garrett Milan pleading his case to the referee. And Athens will have to fend off yet another Thunderbird power play. Rock Lobsters are not done on the weekend either. A very busy 4-game and 5-day spell. This is game number 2. Kolatarsi just trying to shed seconds off. This power play just starting out for the Thunderbirds. Calgin doesn't get anything on it. Looks like he felt that he was impeded as well. Gallant, a similar extra pass that spawned the goal earlier in the game. Tries to set up Connor Craig. William Lavalier has it in the glove. Thunderbirds are going to have the 20 shot on net tally in this first period. Athens still has only 4. Minute 33 remaining on Neely's penalty for slashing. Babick just holds on to it for Craig. Kaysen Gallant, mostly known for his goal scoring, but a good play make on the lone goal in this contest. Here he is at the half wall. Tiptoes into the left circle. Cross ice pass. White kind of directing traffic here. He'll end up getting on the end of a feed himself. Works his way central. Gallant trying to go down to a knee and pick out the top corner. Would be tough to find the spot above the shoulder of Lavalier. Was trying to go to the far post this time around. Misses, takes it all the way back down ice. White high. Greco loses it in the lights. Finds it back out on the sheet. Spun around. There's no one there on the Thunderbirds to stop that from getting wheeled down. We're in the final minute of the period. Johansson chips it to his right for Salak. Almost loses a handle. Gets bumped by Virgili. But he's a big man at 6'5". The Grecking ball, though, that's a little more difficult of a roadblock. Athens had killed the penalty, and that's going to be an icing. .4 seconds left. Oh, Michael Greco and Jacob Schnapp here. Bartuccio Pereira joining in on the fun. As we've talked about in games between these two teams this season, Jacob Schnapp, one of the all-time great agitators that this league has seen. Maybe a face-off at center ice. Athens still just 4 shots on net. Harrison was down on the front row of the bench. Twin City coach Steve Harrison. Bodies are rocking right now here at the Annex. Sent down. Icing is called. Rock Lobsters could carve something out here. 10 seconds left, 9.9 to be exact. And they'll have an offensive zone face-off. Currently down 1-0 after the goal at 13:47 from Roman Kramer. A good feed. Lateral movement from Kason Gallant. Gus Ford's going to take the draw here as opposed to Milan. Things were getting chippy toward the third period last night, but it's getting a little bit more chippy here in the first. Ford gets kicked out. Lowell will take it. 3 men who can all take the draw. Ford comes back. And he wins it. Maye up the wall. Lowell lost his stick, so he was not going to be able to add much to that pursuit. And that'll do it for the action in the first period, which belongs to the Twin City Thunderbirds. A 1-0 lead off the stick of Roman Kramer. Kramer, his 24th of the year. Kason Gallant, his 23rd assist. He had so much to do with that play. And the kind of spot on the ice where you expect the Red Deer Rocket to rip a shot, instead moves it laterally for Kramer, who snaps one past William Lavalier, who has been much the busier goaltender through the first 20 minutes played. That needs to change going forward as the Rock Lobsters try to get in behind this game, or get back in from behind in this game. There's Micah Swift-Taylor right there at the bottom of your screen. A happy birthday to him, the equipment manager of the Athens Rock Lobsters. William Lavalier in conversation with his good friend, fellow Quebecois, and assistant coach Brandon Picard. Well, the Rock Lobsters are in the middle of a very busy spell for them. Right after this, the team will get on the bus, head back home to the Classic City, and less than 24 hours and now, much less than 24 hours now, they'll have a game against the Monroe Moccasins tomorrow afternoon at 4:05 for Pucks and Paws night. Sunday afternoon, Athens welcoming the Monroe Moccasins to Aikens Ford Arena. You can bring your furry best friend along for a game that's literally gone to the dogs. The concourse will feature local pet vendors, adoption opportunities, and pet-friendly giveaways, plus a special on-ice doggy dash you won't want to miss. It's the ultimate family-friendly game day for fans and pups alike. So get your tickets now at rocklobstershockey.com. But that busy spell that we are in the middle of was a big topic of conversation with me and head coach Garrett Rutledge. And you can listen to that conversation here. It's Coach's Corner with me, Mateen Rad, and Garrett Rutledge.
Hey there, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to Coach's Corner on the ARL Network. It's your inside look to everything happening on and off the ice for the Athens Rock Lobsters. As always, I'm your host, Mateen Rad. I'm joined by head coach Garrett Rutledge. Ruts will rewind a little bit to a week ago, a big 7-2 win against the Monroe Moccasins on St. Patty's Day. I think what stood out to me was the 3 goals for the power play unit, and you could feel the presence of Eric Neely in his return from the SPHL pretty immediately. First, let's talk about that man advantage unit. Milan, Ford, Shinkarik, Virgili, and now Neely back as well from the SPHL. We saw what he can add in the goal scoring department with his first Athens hat trick, but for the fluidity of that power play in general, what does Niels add to that already strong unit?
Well, you just look at his elite prospects and where he's played and his calm, cool, collective demeanor on the ice and his leadership skills. So you combine all those guys together, you're going to get nothing but an elite power play unit. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty good unit and a second unit, to be honest with you, going forward. And hopefully, if you're going to sit in the penalty box, you're going to fear that first unit and second unit to come out against you. So it's going to be big for us going down the stretch here and into playoffs, saying we need to score goals, but it's great to see us getting confidence, and it's fun as a coach to sit there and put those guys out there and let them do their thing. And obviously, it's connected, and I think it was good for the fans and everybody to see just the skill level we can throw out there at times.
It was a bit of a shocker for me just how easy those first couple of goals came. Passes down the Royal Road to the net side and just a touch in past Masternak is all that's necessary. Looking at the replays of Neely and Milan's goals, it seems Masternak is planted towards the edge of his crease and he's trying to read as most of the play as he can. What do you think made those opportunities down low so open?
Well, when guys have the ability to roll around up top and, again, create deception in handling the puck, and what I mean by deception is, like, you're not stick handling. When you see guys stick handle the puck, that's advantage goalie, to be honest with you. So when they come downhill, they stick handle. That's like for the goalie going 1, 2, 3. He hasn't passed yet, and finally he's going to shoot it. So you get set. When you don't stick handle and you come downhill and you're holding the puck and you're not stick handling, the goalie is on his toes ready for the shot, but he also is thinking pass, shot. He doesn't know what's going on. And when you have a shot like Garrett Milan, Shinks, Gus Ford, and Neeler, as a goalie, at some point you gotta play the 50-50 game and hopefully you make the right choice, and then you let the skill take over in the hockey IQ and Phil down low, and then Shinks rolling around and guys going in for tap-ins. So that's where it comes from, is a lot of skill work, a lot of years of preparation of not showing your hand too fast as a player, and no stick handles. When you're not stick handling, you're not giving away what you're doing. Whenever you're stick handling, you're still stick handling. So everybody knows you're not shooting. So kind of time and space will close up on you. So, but no, it's fun to watch. It's fun to see those guys take over a game like that.
Is that something you've been preaching to both power play units recently, is just less stick handling and more puck movement?
No, a lot of that comes with, like, the type of player they are, to be honest with you. That's hard to teach. You either have that in your toolbox or you don't. Changing the angle of the shot, deception in your feet. What I mean by that, shoot off the wrong foot, a little bit of a stutter step in your skating. Maybe even when you're skating, you just tap the brakes just a bit, just enough to get the goalie to bite just a little bit to get them off balance, and then you shoot in your spot. And it happens quick, and the releases with the new sticks and the types of players there. These guys go all summer with their skill coaches and on ice sessions and shooting pucks and pull and shoot and all that kind of stuff. This goes into back when you're, I guess you're 10, 11, 12 years old now, on how much ice time these guys are getting and going to their skill coaches and working on their craft for sure.
Gus Ford, we saw a lot of his goal scoring ability in his first few games, but now over the last 7, we're starting to see more and more of his playmaking too. Does he make it easier for his teammates on the ice to find space because of how much attention he's really able to draw from the opponent?
Yeah, even when he plays in Milan, he's opening up ice for Milan, because it's just like, who do you cover at one point? You got to worry about Milan, you got to worry about Ford, and then you got to worry about Jesse too. Like, Jesse's a good player on that line. And when Malo was there, he was good on that line too. You got a hard-nosed guy that like to go net front and stuff. So, again, Fordy's got the ability. Milan's got the ability. They can slow the game down as to how they want to play it, kind of thing. They have a special tool in their toolbox, and as a player, they can drag players out of position, but they also get them off balance. They're waiting for a guy to get his toe caps the wrong way, stick position, maybe cross his feet a bit, and they just shift him, go to the middle and stuff. Those are all, again, come back to skill sets that guys have worked on over the years and stuff. So they recognize soft areas of the ice, where to put it, where to be, where to go to open ice, create lanes for each other. And they're also playing, if you ever notice, they play a lot in a triangle. So you play within 4 or 5 feet of each other, little area games, kind of like soccer a bit. So it's like you put it to one area and you're going to the open area kind of thing. So you're jumping to space and creating gaps. And obviously, if guys don't have you boxed out the proper way, that's a hook or an interference and put guys in bad positions. And then you got to remember there's still 3 other guys in the ice. So having a highly skilled team is fun to watch, and it's credit to the boys, I guess, really.
When you take a look at the game in transition points of the game, Milan, he's able to create space with his speed, Ford with his stick handling. And then you have players like Malik that you brought up or like Jesse Lowell. Is their role on that line really, especially on the forecheck, to create even more space by getting into the nitty-gritty parts of the offensive zone?
Yeah, you can always have like two skill guys and one heavier guy kind of on that line. It goes back to Edmonton Oilers. Like they put what's his name there? Help me out here.
Draisaitl, McDavid?
No, McDavid, the guy who plays net front. He was with the Leafs for a while. Anyways, doesn't matter. They put a heavy guy in front. Not so much a heavy guy. They put a guy that's like legit, got puck skill and will go to those areas, win puck battles, and be able to drive that line. So having those two guys on your line is kind of like you just go to the front of the net. You're going to pick up loose change everywhere, kind of picking up rebounds and goals here. So
Hyman?
Yeah, Zach Hyman. That's the guy I'm looking for. You know what I mean? He's hard-nosed. He's not like the hardest-nosed guy, but he plays the game the right way. He wins puck battles. He's not afraid to protect the puck, get in the corner, and he goes net front, and he just knows his role in that line, and they're going to find him. When you play with two good players, put your stick down, they'll find you eventually.
Me and you in our own conversations away from the show here, we've talked about how lights out Joe Colatarsi has been lately, and it's always fun to see him get in on the offensive side of things as well, like he did in this game. It feels like he's taking steps in his game, even at 31 years old. What have you seen from Cola lately?
I just see very calm, cool, collective of a veteran presence on our back end. I think we need a lot more of that going forward, to be honest with you. Just, again, some of the odd man chances and stuff going forward, just guys that can learn from Joey and pick up small areas of the game. He never gets himself in really bad ice. He makes a good first pass. He's very coachable. He's a student of the game. He's always watching the forecheck, watching what they're doing. He wants to know questions. He's grabbing the iPad on the bench. Just tendencies and seeing how Joey has taken the reins on the back end here and just taking kind of the leadership role in defending, basically. So it's been great to see, and obviously getting rewarded back up the other end of the ice with a goal is credit to Joey, being a good soldier and absolutely being a weapon on the back end for us.
After his goal, the Snakes make a change in the crease. They bring out Chris Branch, who we haven't seen before this. Things are already clearly clicking for the boys on the ice before that change, but is there any reset that's necessary on the bench when that kind of change is made to see the differences that the new netminder brings?
No, not at all. You just keep doing what you're doing. We have guys that play hockey night in, night out. They're not scared of any goalie going in the net. It is what it is at that point. You just keep playing, keep shooting the puck. We keep going line rush after line rush, keep going 5-man unit and putting pucks on net, and hopefully they go in the net, finish your routes, and you know what I mean? You do good things, you get rewarded. So that's the mindset. And yeah, it doesn't really matter what goalie's in there, to be honest with you.
Luke Croucher scores an absolute beauty on him, prompts the dive from Gerstein on a fake slapper, then drives it past Chris Branch. After that point, it begins to feel like Crouchy is getting poked at and picked on a little bit. There are a couple players on this Rock Lobster team who play bigger than their size. Does their small stature and huge presence on the ice lead to them getting targeted a bit more than other players?
I don't really think so. Maybe for the other team, I don't know, to be honest with you, but our smaller guys are the hardest working guys on our team, the most hardcore guys. So you're going to go after them. They're the engine of this hockey team that keep their feet moving, and they're going to keep coming at you. So one thing about our hockey team, we're never going to be pushed around. That's for sure. As skilled as we are, all of us are a cohesive unit and a big group together, and we win and lose together no matter what. We stick together despite whatever's thrown at us. So again, sometimes you get a little adversity. Sometimes as a team, you got to stick together and be a man on the ice and take care of business. And when it calls upon, you can see that all the Rock Lobsters are coming. So it doesn't matter what's thrown at us. We just, that's our mindset. We're a brotherhood here and a big family. And it goes even to our whole group, our whole staff here, our fan base, everybody. We're one big unit here in Athens, and we're going to stick together, and we're going to march forward, and we're going to make the Federal Hockey League look when the Athens Rock Lobsters come to town.
It kind of leads me right into my next question. Crouchy at the center of this brawl that takes place with less than 3 minutes remaining in regulation, and his teammates start taking up for him, start protecting their brother. More than 130 penalty minutes and a couple of 3-game suspensions earned between the two teams in a near instant. Did you feel like that was something that was bubbling under the surface that whole game, or did it kind of catch you by surprise like it did me, because the game was more or less over?
it actually didn't catch me surprised. It's just typical, I guess, right? You got a guy over there that played for the River Dragons for years. That's what he does. You know what I mean? I seen it coming. I should have called a timeout. I was going to call a timeout. I seen it coming. I seen who was on the ice. A couple guys mentioned on the ice, like, this is not us. It's just our coach telling us to do this. And then immediately Scantleberry baseball swings Croucher in the back of the legs, and that starts it. But again, I go back to some things like officiating. You got to police the game. That's what you're out there for. Just start handing guys 10s, even our guys. Like, you act like an idiot on the ice. You do dumb things. You guys look at each other wrong. 7-2 hockey game. Take control of the game and be like, you got a 10, you got a 10. You're going, you're barking, you're going, you're going. You'll take care of things pretty quick once you start tossing a few guys out, and you eliminate the obvious guys. And even for my guys, like, I've told the league this, I've told the officials that. Sometimes you see me talking to the official. I'm just like, just tee them up. You don't want the tomfoolery to happen. Tee them up, get them out of the game. It doesn't matter. Throw both guys out. Just give them 10 minutes, send them to the shower. All's well that ends well. But again, it's exciting for our group. It only brings us together even more. I think it gets a little bit of excitement in the crowd, and like I said, no harm, no foul kind of thing, and wouldn't change it for the world what happened. So sometimes when you do dumb things, you get dumb prizes kind of thing. So that's you run your mouth all year, you're going to get punched in the mouth once in a while too. So you better be ready.
Half of the remaining games in the regular season are against this Moccasin team, and every win against them will feel like a 6-point swing as we fight for the top seed in the Continental Division. With there being only 8 games left on the season, I know you're not prioritizing some games over others, but do some of the games feel more important than others?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best teams, when they start playing each other, you want to put a exclamation point on the season kind of thing to get us out there and get us going. But as for us, we just take one game at a time. We worry about the Athens Rock Lobsters. I know I keep saying this stuff, but honestly, that's what we do. We just worry about us. We worry about how we're going to play, how we're going to defend, what we're going to do offensively, and take care of business. Again, some nights you're not going to have your best night. Some nights the puck's not going to go in for you. And it's going to happen in hockey, but it's going to build for us. It's going to help us long term. And like I said, you can see the team taking some strides forward. And like, again, maybe the other night we take a couple back, but it's all within reason, and it's all good. I'm proud of our group. I'm proud where we are. And like I said, I look forward to these last 8 or 9 games here.
That makes 2 of us. The 7-2 win would extend our win streak to 8 games, but unfortunately that would end with a 5-1 loss to the Columbus River Dragons on Stick It to Cancer night on Saturday. We were down to 8 forwards for the first time in a while. Malik Johnson still out from injury. Gleb Bendirkin and Daniil Glukaryov missed out due to travel necessary for international paperwork purposes. Joe Mack on loan to the ECHL. On the defensive side, you have Dusty out to suspension. You can't win them all with the team already on an 8-game win streak, and with the lack of availability we had. Is this one easy to kind of brush off?
Yeah, I thought so. Like, to be honest with you, I think we didn't play that bad, to be honest with you. Did we give up a few odd man chances that I'd like to take back, and our guys sniffing a little bit and guys getting behind us and pucks not going our way and stuff like that? But I also think just a timely goal. Like, if we would have just got 1 or 2 timely goals, I know we got Milan back. We got one back there. Then we had another chance at Eli, who stand the crease, wide open net. Milan shoots it, hits him in the back of the leg and goes out of the net. Hit a couple posts and like just some timely goals to get us back in the game and get us feeling that way. Instead, sometimes you got to open it up a little bit and take a little bit of risk and reward. Like, again, 4-on-4. Any other time, I think 40 goes in and he gets hooked under the chicken wing there, gets hooked under his arm. No call, rings it off the post or just shoots it wide. Then we get a recovery. It looks like Milan's going to get a chance on it, and it just taps on a guy's stick and gets by Milan. They go back the other way, dunking in her net. That was kind of the way it felt all night. Just every little bounce didn't go our way, and it's going to happen. As a coach, you got to be proud of the guys. You got to be proud of the way they worked. They stayed the course. We had lots of chances. Again, is it the way we scripted it? No, but we shrug it off. We know we're going to be good this weekend, and like I said, we just come off an 8-game heater, and it is what it is at this point. I don't know. There's not much more to be said, really. We had our chances. We didn't bury. They did. They got the opportunity. They came in, took 3 points from us. It is what it is. We wash our hands of it and move on.
I know we outshot them on the night, but something that had impressed me the most about the team through this 8-game win streak was the transition game, the way to be able to traverse quickly through all 3 zones. But it was nullified pretty well by Columbus on Saturday, at least in the scope of the way we played earlier in the week on Tuesday. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead, Mateen. No, go ahead.
We talk about the players missing. You add on the busy run that the team has been on. Do you think tired legs had a lot to do with that?
Yeah, I think sometimes you can get off your game a little bit when you're pushing to get goals and you're down or you need to come back. Maybe you start doing a little bit more extra by yourself. You become a little bit of individuals instead of playing that team game and knowing that shift by shift you need to play 5 guys unit out in the neutral zone and playing in the O zone. But I think sometimes it's just a product, of exhaustion. Maybe guys are banged up a bit and it's just like, maybe throw the white flag up a little bit. I don't think our guys ever give up per se. I think we battled right to the end, but it was the River Dragons night that night. They got some pucks to go in and we didn't score on our opportunities. So credit to the River Dragons. They came in, they were shorthanded too. They had some guys missing out of their lineup. So it's as a coach, it's a learning curve. We do a little video, we coach through that. We make sure they're ready to go. And like I said, you can only move on. That's a good thing about hockey. You can always play besides playoffs, you get another chance at her Friday night against Winston Salem, which should be another good hockey game.
We've seen the shots faced by Carter McPhail. It seems like those numbers have crept up a little bit over the past couple of weeks. You've talked with me before about how comfortable the team feels with him in between the pipes behind them. But can that be a double-edged sword where the team feels, just as comfortable in letting him see more shots?
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to give us a save. He's always there for us. Even when things break down, McPhail's going to bail us out. Hopefully that's his job. That's what he does. He knows that he's back there. But you get these teams, some of these teams shoot from everywhere. They fire pucks on net, and it's the kind of the Federal Hockey League way, per se. It's kind of a quantity over a quality kind of mentality. So I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, Carter's back there kicking in the pipes for us. It doesn't matter if Salesy's in there, Labby's in there, or whoever for us. I think all of our guys are in there for the same reason. They love the game and they love the boys, and everybody's out there battling no matter what, giving their best effort. So that's all you can ask for.
Matching Rad bringing you FPHL action here in the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. But before we get to the second period, let's take a look at some of the scores around the FPHL. Still some games starting out. The only other one that started at 6:05 like this one did today is that between the Wolves and the Prowlers. The Prowlers a day removed after putting on a big hurting on the Watertown Wolves last night. Right now they're still in a lead 2-1. Meanwhile, the Binghamton Black Bears and the Danbury Hat-Tricks just getting started out. Some of the other games around the FPHL due to drop the puck here soon. Well, taking a look at this Thunderbird team, they were going to come into today hoping that they weren't going to lose every game this season against the Rock Lobsters, hoping that they can get that final playoff spot in the Continental Division. So far, so good through the first 20 minutes played. It's been a lot of one-way traffic between the two squads. 19 shots on net for the Thunderbirds and 4 shots on net. Look, we saw a lot of that last night. However, for most of the evening yesterday, it was the Rock Lobsters who had the lead in the contest. Not the case here. Roman Kramer at the 13:47 mark took the lateral pass from Casey Gallant, was able to one-time it past William Lavalier, and right now that is the difference maker between these two. No matter what is the case, the Thunderbirds will have far fewer points this season than they did last year. A 124-point campaign and a Commissioner's Cup runner-up spot last season for the team formerly known as the Carolina Thunderbirds. But if you get yourself into the postseason, anything can happen. There's still some ways behind in that regard too, but if they can win this one and the Blue Ridge Bobcats can do them another favor tonight and defeat the PD Ice Cats, things could get interesting here down the stretch, especially with a couple of games to play between PD and Twin City. Starters on the ice for the Rock Lobsters. Here's Kolatarsi and to Shakarik after the MAC face-off win. Petita through the skates. Neely helping it up for Philip Virgili. Seen a lot of scrums at the glass for possession thus far in the 20 minutes plus play to this game. Philip Virgili, backhand shipper in. Babic with a play where the trap would be. No trapezoid rules in the FPHL. Pass down the Royal Road from Shinkarik for Neely. One hands it for Virgili. Gets over the glove of Babic. And now Shinkarik having to face a 3-on-1 here. Keeley makes the pass. William Lavalier squeezes the quads together. Do we have a penalty here? Philip Virgili getting taken from the bench. He can't believe it. Third power play of this game, and all of them belonging to the Thunderbirds. Philip Virgili called for a hook. Athens back on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Strong, skilled, strategic defense. They've done that on the PK thus far tonight. But still down 1-0. Thanks to the goal from Roman Kramer, where both teams were skating 5 aside. Early power play here for the Thunderbirds in the middle frame. Kaysen Gallant so good at picking up pace on that area of the ice, the right wing, but kind of just mishandles it on the zone entry. Connor Craig, seen some good power play time in this game. Connor Craig evading Michael Greco, takes it to the far side wall. Kaysen Gallant has to get it right, and he does. Takes it to the goal line, wraps it around Lavalier. Tape to tape for Zach White. Down low for Craig. Gallant at the outside hash marks. Roman Kramer, one time by Keeley, followed up by Gallant. Leafers loses it in the sweater and then sends it down. Yes, the Rock Lobsters, the Monroe Moccasins, and the Columbus River Dragons have all already secured a spot in the Continental Division. As a matter of fact, we now know after last night that Columbus will definitely be the number 3 seed in the Continental. 25 seconds to go on Virgili's penalty. Called for the hook. Johansson to the captain, John Butita. Mott collects off the wall. Clangs off a combination of wood and metal. Mott didn't have a pass to make. Schnapp, a nuisance at the welcome mat. Mott with a whiff. And now there's pushing and shoving at the net front. Looks like Schnapp trying to get it. Lavalier. A blow of the whistle, and what will come of this? Looks like Schnapp will end the power play 4 seconds early, unless there's an Athens player that will be joining him on the other side of the sin bins. We've already had a chance to talk about it a few times in this game. Jacob Schnapp, one of the best agitators all time in FPHL history. Looks like Powell will be there as well. We'll see if they'll just be offsetting roughing calls, which is potentially going to happen here. Wonder what the call is there. I'm not even sure Powell was on the ice. 2 penalties there for Schnapp. 1 for slashing and 1 for roughing. I think that'll likely offset the penalty to Powell. And that the Rock Lobsters will be on the power play here in 4 seconds. It's also good that Virgili's going to be back in the mix in 4 seconds, as he would be the one to come back into the power play unit. Athens now on the man advantage on the quadruple P, the Paloma Park power play. And now see what happened as well was William Lavalier, who was called for the penalty, and thus Kyle Powell serving it. Shinkarik's effort ricochets into the safety netting. Athens with their first power play of the game, a chance to get right back in it, tie this game up. Take a look for the man that's winning the faceoff here, or is going to be drawing for the faceoff here, as he is on 199 FPHL goals. Chris Mott from half wall to corner all the way down. Rock Lobsters 2 power play goals on the evening last night. Shinkarik gets a step on Mott. Glides around the ice, doesn't get the pass right to Neely. Zach White, a speedster, gets the shot through Milan, and Lavalier gets it into the right armpit. It's been that kind of night in the early going between these two teams. The Rock Lobsters letting up a lot of shots against their netminder. Garrett Rutledge will go to the other power play unit here quickly. Because it was 2 minors, Roman Kramer is there to serve with Schnapp. Maye. Here's Joe Mack, who I thought played with a real buzz to his game last night after his loan in the ECHL. Liefers still looking for his first goal since he made his debut against the Biloxi Breakers. Mack, Croucher here at the blue line. Maye on the near side of the point. Steps ahead into the left circle, passes it back for Croucher. Maye clatters one off the wall. Croucher made a good play to keep it in, but tilted it towards Liefers, who saw it a little too late. Maye, a player who's so good at getting to go downhill. Meets a roadblock, though, in Farmer. Mack a forward, but a big body at the line. Croucher to Mack, off the boards. 7 seconds left on Schnapp's penalty. Liefers to Mack off the net front, looking for a tip. And now Kramer's out of the box, and he could spring ahead. Maye's been on the sheet for a while. Back around by Petita to Kramer. Kramer, the goal scorer in this contest. Could almost add another one here. Kramer back behind the net to the out front. Petita with a shot saved by Lavalier. Athens, not sure they logged a shot on goal in that power play. Trickles behind Liefers. Hanley in front of the right circle. White tries to chop at it, but William Lavalier has it in the leather. We go to a commercial break. Athens gets their first power play of the game, but still not much doing. Their approach needs to change here in what remains of the contest.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
We talked about the one-way traffic through 20 minutes played, and not much has changed through the first 5.5 minutes of the middle frame. Garrett Rutledge early on in the season told us that these are the kinds of games that you look to your leaders, your veterans, to take the game by the scruff of the neck. Will Athens be able to do that here with this line of Neely, Ford, and Milan? Neely stops the puck in its tracks, sends it to the end boards. Milan with speed around Babbick's net. Tries to get it out front, looking for Ford, gets taken through his legs by White. White backhands it to the left circle. Kramer again, a wraparound. Lavalier sticks the toe out and makes the stop. What the difference that the scoreline could be if Lavalier hasn't made the saves he has made. Gallant, picture-perfect pass. Kramer unable to trouble the Great Wall of Montreal. Neely, a touch pass into the path of Milan, gets taken down. Athens going to be back to the power play here. And really, this is exactly what Athens needs. 2 quick bites at the cherry to even up the score on the man advantage. Hopefully they can generate a little bit more on this power play than they did the first time around just a matter of minutes ago. Rock Lobsters had their 40th win last night, 9 losses on the season. See that question in the chat? That puck popped up on Milan and pops into the neutral zone. Shinkarik, the quarterback of this first unit. Neely can't thread the needle against Keeley. Virgili chasing down Craig. Milan off the wall. Great little stick handle around Mott. Milan down again. And now Virgili taking exception. Milan has a little bit more freedom here now. Minute 20 to go on the power play. Still no shots, though. 45 seconds through. Shinkarik wants it back. He'll blast one over the bar, hard off the glass. Milan, a great poke check for Gili. Didn't get the shot off, and now the Rock Lobsters go into the 5-on-3. If it's going to come, it has to come now for Athens. They need to show a little bit more offensive bite. They'll have plenty of ice to do it, as Connor Craig will join Bondi in the box. Bondi in the box for tripping. I believe that Craig will join him on a hook. And the Thunderbirds, that already have the second worst penalty kill in the FPHL, will have to try and kill off a minute 4 of 5-on-3. Milan, like a coil spring that's ready to pop. In front of the left circle now. Down low for Ford. Makes the extra pass, lofted over Babbick by Neely. Athens has one back, and they'll stay on the power play, getting it on the 5-on-3. Neely got the first goal last night for the Rock Lobsters. He starts the scoring, making it look easy again for Athens in this game. Had to wait a little bit longer than 12 seconds like he did last night, but Athens has their goal, and we've got a tied game at 1-1. Back underway here, and still a minute 40 to go on the penalty to Craig, who's serving 2 for hooking. 5-on-3 to the 5-on-4. Can Athens take the lead here in this span of time? It was a perfect pass from Ford, cross crease to Neely. Just rode the edge of that blue paint in front of Babic. Here's Neely again. Shinkarik for Ford. Return pass to the captain, fantastic. Mishandle by Shinkarik. Milan pokes it to Ford. Now it's Neely who's down low. Milan trying to get free of Schnapp. 50 seconds to go. Rock Lobsters have their Paloma Park power play goal, and with that, fans now get free churros through the Fan Saves app for 24 hours. Courtesy of our friends at Paloma Park. Shinkarik carving out like he's making a piece of art out of a piece of wood. Shinkarik to Ford. Will he make history tonight? Instead, it's Neely again. Blasts a shot. Clatters off a body and wide. Shinkarik to Ford. 7 seconds to go on the power play. Ford hands it off. Shinkarik, Neely down low. One times it. Short angle and an opening for Hanley to clear down into. Thunderbirds could kill off 1 penalty. They couldn't kill off 2, and it's Eric Neely's goal. His fifth in 4 games since returning from the SPHL. Number 23 of the season. Neely follows up his own rebound, driving the net of Babic. Calgin had a 2-goal performance against the Thunderbirds in a 7-6 win. Ended up being one of the game winners. Leafers, nice little step past. But Leafers gets pushed away by Salak. Those two coming together once again just like they did last night. Jesse Lowell rims it around. Leafers picks it up, banks it. Michael Greco on the one-timer. Blockered away by the Slovakian in net. Greco looking around for some help. He has Butita staring him down in the eyes, and William Lavalier gloves it like a shortstop in the crease. Athens has their goal. Neely with yet another tally for the Rock Lobsters. It came on the Paloma Park power play, and now we've got a tied game. It's Athens 1, Twin City 1.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Some penalty trouble for the Thunderbirds has helped out Athens in this game. Of course, Twin City with the second worst penalty kill in the league. There was not going to be much that they could do 5-on-3, but they've killed off a few 5-on-4 penalties in this game. 9.5 minutes to go in the second period. This game has really flown by. We're already more than halfway played. Kolatarski on the one-time. Virgili has to come back in the zone. Glove down here by Luke Croucher. Had a goal in last night's contest. Also came on the power play. Mack whiffles it in. Virgili trying to stick it down out of the corner. It's out of play. Took a touch, though, say the officials. No delay of game. Philip Virgili had that 5-game contract with the Macon Mayhem and the SPHL. Made his return on St. Patrick's Day against the Monroe Moccasins. Recorded a hat trick, his first as a Rock Lobster, despite the FPHL stats crediting him with one in Indiana. Mack takes it with himself on the faceoff. Croucher with a step out in front of Joe Mack. Two rookies. A line kind of pieced together here, Virgili, Mack, and Croucher. Bartuccio Pereira able to free that biscuit loose. Can Croucher put it in the oven? Bartuccio Pereira, great pass to try and find Virgili. Mack here to help out defensively with Devin Maye. Crowder skips one like a stone wide. Pass to the blue line from the outside hash marks. Hanley rides the line with a pass. Craig through traffic. Off the end boards and on the rebound. No go there. Devin Maye with good defensive play down low. Two left-handed D here on the shift for the Rock Lobsters. Croucher through the skates. Mack to Bartuccio Pereira. Athens picking up speed over the blue line. Bartuccio Pereira goes down to the knee. Devin Maye cuts out the clever play, but there is still a shot to be made from Dumas. And there goes out of play off the stick of Jack Johansson. At one point, Dom Dumas was Dom Don't Miss for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Was in the middle of his best pro season with Athens before the trade to Carolina. He has a goal against the Rock Lobsters this year as well, coming on March 15th. Rock Lobster fans might recall when he recorded the first pro hat trick of his career on January 9th for the Rock Lobsters against the PD Ice Cats in front of a home crowd. Maye can't get it through a body. Powell, great pass up ahead, finding Shinkarik. Shinkarik has to reload. Has to get back. Perfect pass from Kramer to White. Lavalier on the breakaway save, but it looks like Athens is going to go shorthanded here. Dom Dumas, or is it Johansson? Pushing and shoving with his former teammate Devin Maye. The Thunderbirds with a chance to snatch the lead back on a power play here. It looks like there's two penalties on the play. The Thunderbirds will have 2 minutes of 5-on-3. Shinkarik and Maye, two important defensemen that Athens could use on the penalty kill as well. My goodness gracious. Michael Greco right off of the faceoff sends it down. Zach White. Rock Lobster scored on a 5-on-3. Thunderbirds with a chance to take back the lead. Gallant with a whiff on the shot. Gallant to Craig. Extra pass. Kramer with two. I think I saw Garrett Rutledge throw the towel as if to say that's a challenge flag on the play. We'll see what happens here. Looks like Shinkarik already out of the box. Roman Kramer now on hat trick watch. Athens still on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Those 2 penalties, Maye for interference, Shinkarik for hooking. Thunderbirds were offside. They have to make their way back to the middle zone. Bartucci Pereira. Thunderbirds were committed high up the ice, and now John Calgin with a backhand shot. Babic with a good save. Sprawled out to the ice was the Slovakian and makes a good stop on Calgin. What a momentum shift that could have been if Athens could get one on the shorthand. Bartucci Pereira hacking and slashing, can't get it out. Johansson, good little move on Milan. Pops out in front. Croucher. One swing at it, make it 2. Mott to Johansson. Chris Mott, an FPHL champion with the Binghamton Black Bears, has found himself around a few teams this season in both the SPHL and the FPHL. And much like the 5-on-3 that we saw for the Rock Lobsters, they're able to kill off 1 penalty but not 2. Milan gets through Johansson, squeaks it through, but then loses out. Thunderbirds have their lead back, the second of the game. Goal number 25 on the season for the man who wears 18, Roman Kramer, and Michael Greco is offsides. The hosts with nearly 3 times more shots on net than the visitors in this game. Still a lot of hockey to be played on the night. Babic ahead of Neely. Nice little pass here from Ford. A lot of bodies for Neely to try and pass through. Racing back to try and stop a 3-on-2. Neely lets it run. Leifer's a good poke check. Ford makes the pass instead of the shot. An unselfish play from Ford with he being on 200 goals. We still await for Ford to potentially make history. How poetic would it be if it comes against his former team, with who he scored so many of those goals? White lifts it long for Salak to chase. Calgin. Backhand shoveler out of the zone, but it never made its way out. Salak to Bondi. William Lavalier just gets the glove to the chest and sends us to another commercial timeout. The goal is restored for the Thunderbirds. Roman Kramer is on hat trick watch with his second of the game, and it came on a 5-on-3 power play goal.
Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission. and our mission is to feed you.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
There's a feel to this game that's quite similar to Athens' loss against the Columbus River Dragons 2 games ago, where the Rock Lobsters, what they did so well through that 8-game winning streak was playing through all 3 zones quickly. And the Thunderbirds have done a good job at impeding that speed tonight. It's resulted in just 10 shots on net as we are heading towards the end of this second period. Salak, a stutter step, had to try and take it around the official. Up the wall. Butita loses an edge, almost collides with Lavalier. A little touch out in front, Salak driving the crease. The big 6'5" check takes a check from Calgin. Keeley out of the corner. Salak emerging from there as well. Like a monster out of the lock. Garcia up the wall. Salak protecting well against Calgin. Little short angle tuck there attempted by Garcia. Bondi. Virgili able to cut off the angle well. But look at this sustained pressure from the Thunderbirds. A microcosm of this game for the Rock Lobsters. Let's see what they can do in transition. Virgili will allow a change for his line mates as he dumps and chases. Forward. Milan on the outside border of the circle. Milan with Garcia chomping at the bit. Wins it off his former teammate. How many times do we get to say that when these two teams meet? Less than 2 minutes to go. Athens having to try and fight from behind for the second time tonight. Shot spins like a top to the far side. Forward bumping, pressure away. Maya cross-ice pass. Milan was reaching out that leg to try and get anything on it. Stop that puck. Kolatarsi asking for help on the far side. A great centering pass from Dumas, and Schnapp didn't get anything on the shot. Drop pass. Neely for Ford to Milan. Tried to spin it back to the back door for Neely. 70 seconds to go in the second period. Ford attempting to lift the stick there on Craig. Craig barreling in and draws the penalty on Maye. Maye frustrated as he felt Craig went down softly there. And a shake of the head. For the big, burly 6'4" defenseman out of Burlington, Ontario. Doesn't feel like the Rock Lobsters are happy about some of the calls tonight. As the visitors are once again on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Someone hiccuping into a mic? What's going on? Lowell swats it away. Gallant. Gotta watch out. White to Craig. Michael Greco unable to clear his ice, but Calgin will. 20 seconds remaining. John Calgin, Babic well out of his crease here. Sends it into a safe space. 40 shots on goal in this game, 29 belonging to the Thunderbirds. Is there one last one? Gallant cross-crease pass. White got nothing on it, but they take a 2-1 lead to the hosts into the second intermission. The Rock Lobsters, with not many more shots in the second than they had in the first. I think having 6 in the middle frame compared to 4 in the first. And they were outshot last night as well, but the important numbers on the scoreboard were still in their favor. This is not the case tonight, as Athens will, like they have done so many times this season, will have to try and win it in the third period. William Lavalier making his return to the Rock Lobsters in this game. His first start for Athens since February 1st. Been a little hard done by in this game, having made 28 shots through 2 periods. Hopefully he'll be less busy in the final frame, and the Rock Lobsters are able to generate more offensively. It's been easier said than done. I had a chance to talk with the Great Wall of Montreal early on in the season. A fan favorite for a reason, and many fans sent in questions to ask the man out of Montreal. We hope you enjoy our Lobster Tale segment with William Lavalier, hosted by me, Matt Teenrat.
Hey there, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to Lobster Tales on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It's the go-to way for you fans to learn more about your favorite players. As always, I'm your host, Mattine Rad, and my guest on this episode is a wall in net and became a fan favorite after he was signed mid-season last year, went on to keep a 12-2-1 record. The man whose last name keeps me up at night, it's William Lavalier. Willie, thank you for joining me. How are you doing today, man?
Doing great. I'm excited to do that for the first time. Obviously, just happy to be here. So, yeah, let's get it going.
It's a pleasure to have you, man. I'm sure I'm not the only person in Athens that has trouble with your last name. Can you say it once for us and clear up any confusion?
Yeah, it's basically it's just Lavalier. Obviously, it's a French name, not easy for you guys. But yeah, Lavalier. I know a lot of guys go by Lavi, which is fine by me. So yeah, no worries.
It's fine by me too. I'm going to keep calling you that as well. So, now we know, and hopefully I won't screw it up anymore either. I want to talk about how much it's worked for you here in Athens, as is the case with so many hockey players. You've bounced around from ECHL loans, Fed teams, and despite the fact that you joined halfway through last season, there's been no team that you've played more games for now in your professional career than the Rock Lobsters. What is it about your stop here that you think has worked for both Athens and yourself?
Obviously, I've known Shanks for a couple of years, our third year together. So yeah, things weren't going too well. I was in Columbus, was on the same page with them. So I give a call to Shanks, and he's the one that got me here, and obviously Marty too. And I just think the team overall is just, we have so many good guys on the team. And when you're happy somewhere, obviously everything goes well. It's showing up on the ice. So yeah, just a good group of guys. So you want to play good for them. And I think that's why it's working.
You were born in Montreal, and I know you talk about Shanks kind of bringing you to the team, but there was a real tight-knit group of Quebecois guys on the team. And whenever I was on the bus last season, you could hear, French being spoken, a couple rows back between you and Brandon Picard, Malik Johnson, Dominique Rodriguez. How much did having those guys help you feel welcome to this city and to this team?
Obviously, it's good to be able to speak your language a little bit. I've played with Picard back in junior. So another guys that I knew on the team when I got there, And no, yeah. Also, Dominic was sitting by me in the locker room. Yeah, no, it was a good time to have some guys from Quebec, and we were able to speak the language from home. Obviously, last year the Montreal Canadiens made it to the playoffs, so kind of watching the games with them was fun, and like just bring a little culture from back home. Yeah, definitely fun.
It seems like there's a long history of Quebecois being great goaltenders that goes back to the 50s with Jacques Plante. What do you think it is about the great province of Quebec that breeds such great goaltending?
Well, obviously, having the Montreal Canadiens, they were a power team for so many years. Back in the days, they had so many good goalies. I think that's why I think everyone wants to be a goalie by seeing, like, yeah, he's not from Quebec, but still a Canadian guy, Carey Price of the Nets, and like he's obviously a legend back home. So yeah, he's one of the reasons why I started playing as a goalie, look up after him when I was younger. Obviously, for me, I think he's one of the best goalie ever. So yeah, just having good goalies back then in Montreal made guys want to become goalies, I guess.
I played a very similar game with Carter McPhail on our episode a couple weeks ago where we blind ranked some goaltenders. I want to do the same thing with you, but I want to keep it just Quebecois goaltenders because there is so many of them. So basically, I'm going to say a name. You're going to place them first through fifth, but once they're there, you can't move them from that spot. Yeah. And we're going to start with my personal favorite, and that's Roberto Luongo.
Oh, that's a good one. So 1 to 5, I would put him third.
Well, up next is a guy who was all about longevity and won everything there was to win. That's Martin Brodeur.
Oh, Martin Brodeur. There's so many good ones. Hard to put them. You obviously got to be up there. Oh my God, that's a tough one. I'll put him second.
Another multiple-time Stanley Cup champion and a fan favorite just like yourself. Next up on our list is the Flower, Marc-Andre Fleury.
For me, I grew up watching him. He's kind of in my years while I was watching hockey, the young goaltender. Dude, I think I gotta put him up there first for me in my heart, obviously. Yeah, he's got to go first.
We'll see how the rest of this list shakes out, but
I would have changed it, but like, yeah, I know there's a good one coming. Though.
I'm sure you do. Fourth guy on our list, he hasn't won anything yet, but he's the guy in Montreal right now, only 3 years older than you, Sam Montembeault.
Oh, yeah, good guy. I got to practice with him a lot with the Montreal Canadiens during summer. I got to put him fifth since he haven't won anything, but great goaltender, great guy too. He'll get his legacy going, I'm sure.
And the fourth spot is the only one that's open. That means the last on our list, who is probably the first on many people's rankings, is going to go fourth on your.
Patrick Roy. If I could change my list, he would have been up there too. Maybe before Luongo or Martin Brodeur, but obviously play for Montreal Canadiens, my favorite team. His legacy is tough for himself. Just a winner, right? Yeah, I feel bad to put him fourth. I think he could be one or two for sure, but yeah, one of the greatest to ever do it for sure.
I know you were so young at the time. You may not have even been born yet when it happened, but our Montreal guys don't look at him as favorably anymore because of the way he left?
No, I think that's in the past. Everyone loves him. He got back to Montreal, not as a goaltender, but he came to games and always had a standing ovation. His numbers retired. So no, I think that's all in the past. We don't blame it on him. The situation, everyone knows the story, but he's dude, he left the team and won a Stanley Cup the same year. Like, that just show how good he is. And no, I think that's in the past, man. We love him, greatest goaltender ever. So yeah.
I think we can add a William Lavalier to that list pretty soon now too. Something I wanted to ask about, and I never really know how to approach this kind of question to other goalies, but I was wondering what you and maybe other goalies in your talks with them think about the stereotype that goalies are kind of out there. They're a little weird, a little different. Do you think that's true? And if so, why do you think that is?
Is it true? Yes, I've met some weird goaltender in my life for sure. But I've met some weird players too, so there's not as much goalie as players, but like you'll find a weird player on every team, right? But yeah, I mean, the reason why I think like you got to be crazy to be a goaltender, obviously, but yeah, you're kind of by yourself out there. So yeah, you talk to in your head a lot. You're by yourself. You got to figure it out. You can't really rely on anyone else. Yeah, obviously your team can play good in front of you, but like when there's a shot, you got to make the save. You can't count on anyone else to do it. So yeah, I think by being by yourself a lot means you got to be weird a little bit. But yeah, I think there's those weird players as goalies. So yeah, that is what it is.
You're joined between the pipes this year by Carter McPhail, and there's very little that separates you two right now. Because of that, you guys switch for the starting spot every game. Do you and who you are as a player welcome that kind of friendly competition, or do you think that pushes both of you to be better?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always a way to do it if you want to push yourself and not be too comfortable, to have a good partner. Obviously, McPhail is a great guy. We get along a lot, so there's not really any competition. We're just here to support each other, and we just want to win at the end of the day. So I think it's just good so we can rest, play one game. It's obviously hard on the body to play back to back, but with having a two good goaltender, like I think we're allowed to be healthy for the whole season, right? So no, there's no bad blood between us. We like it, and we give advice to each other, work as a team. That's how you win championship, right?
Absolutely. That's, I think, for my money, best goaltender pair in the league, and it's showing right now with the team's undefeated record. But a hockey player I know isn't the only profession you've been in, and I wanted to know, what can you tell us about your modeling career? Googling your name, I see some headshots around, and you have an old Instagram dedicated to your modeling. How was that something you got into, and is it something you still do?
No, I don't do it anymore. But one of my good friends when I was younger was a model, and I went to one of his show with him, and his owner that owns him, he said, he kind of took a look at me. He said, "Hey, would you like to try and be a model and everything?" I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I heard you can get good money, right? So I was kind of doing it on the side with hockey. I got some good contract, like with Apples and a bunch of big company, which you can make good money. But with hockey, after I started traveling, I didn't really have the time to do it. So yeah, I kind of put that on the side. But it was a good experience though. So yeah. And it's now it's in the back, but like, yeah, I had a lot of fun, made some great people, and just get to do that. It's a different world, yes. So yeah, no, it was a fun time.
Well, get ready, GQ. After Willie retires, I'm sure you'll be getting a phone call. But Willie, we're about to get into our fan question segment, and before we get started, I'm starting in our fan question segment a little quicker than I do most of the guys, and that's because we got a ton of questions that the fans sent in for this one, and it really cemented to me in my mind how much of a fan favorite you are. Obviously, your play in net has a ton to do with that, but What other reasons do you think Crustacean Nation has really connected with you as a player and as a person?
Maybe my friend Jackson. I don't know. I don't know. I just, to be honest, I like to give my time back to people. Like, they come to cheer for us. I think we have the best fan in the league. So, yeah, just take the time to talk with them, get to know them. Maybe once you get to know them, they're definitely gonna like you even more. So, no, probably by just taking the time to talk with them, talk about the games, the life, all is it back home, everything. Maybe that's for that, but also maybe because I'm French. I don't know.
I think it definitely doesn't hurt. Well, Willie, it's time for our Question A Crustacean segment. We ask fans to send questions in on both Reddit and the Athens Rock Lobster fan page on Facebook, and we have a ton to get through here. If you watching at home want to send your questions in, keep an eye out for posts from me on both Reddit and the fan page. First things first, Willie, I got a message from that bullfrog on Reddit who says, I saw your post about questions for Lavalier. Do you think he would be willing to give a shout out to my 6-year-old son? He thinks Lavalier is the coolest person ever, and he even drew a picture for him last season that he was able to give him after a game. So, Willie, do you have any words for 6-year-old Hamp, short for Hampton, who's watching at home?
Yeah. Hey, Hampton. I do still have your picture. Good. It's a good one. Thank you for cheering for us. You're a great kid, dude. Hopefully I'll see you around this season.
Well, Hamp, I hope you enjoyed that, and hats off to your father who reached out to me as well for that special message. Next question comes from Shannon Vanskike, who asks, does he hear the crowd both in chirping and supporting him, and how much, if any, does it affect his play? Cirrus Dark Ice on Reddit also asks, do you find fan goalie chants humorous, annoying, or neither? Do you just tune out the noise? So yeah, Willie, talking about fan noise here.
Obviously you're dialed in your game. You're trying not to let anything around affect you. But as a lot of other fans are, it's kind of hard to not hear them, right? So yeah, I do hear the chirp sometime when they chirp the other goalies, and when they cheer for you, obviously, especially between the TV time, you can hear them a lot. But yeah, you don't want that to affect you too much. You never want to be like, you trying never too low, never too high. Obviously, when people are cheering for you, you get on that high, but it does give you a lot of energy. But you're trying to like stay calm, But yeah, no, obviously, when you guys cheer for us, it's amazing. You just give us so much more energy, and we want to play better. So,
like you said, the best fans in the FPHL. Ty Benton wonders, how do you calm your mind during a game and during the timeouts?
A lot by breathing, control your breathing, trying to put your heartbeat lower. You get to, everyone's got a little ritual. So by doing that, your ritual, it makes you think about something else and like just calm you down. But yeah, I would say a lot by breathing. We have like, everyone's got a different tempo, but we all have the one that works for us. So yeah, I would say by breathing. Yeah.
I thought this was an interesting one because you don't often know what interests guys outside the rink. Joshua Sellers asks, what is one topic that you could sit and talk about all day and never get tired of talking about?
Probably hockey. That's what I do to live. That's what I do every day. So no, the day I'm gonna be tired about talking hockey, I'll probably won't be playing anymore. But yeah, no, I love talking about hockey. Obviously, it's something that my whole family did. My dad used to play hockey, my 2 brothers. So it's something that's run around the family, obviously. And you get to live with your teammate during the season. So obviously it's hard to not talk about it, right? So yeah, I won't get tired about talking hockey for sure.
It's your life, man. Talking shop. It makes sense. Hope McIntyre with our next post. She says, my son wants to know, does he like meeting fans, even when they're starstruck like my 10-year-old was? You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but.
No, I do love meeting fans. Just the only thing I can remember is when I was younger and I would get to meet the players. Was such a big thing. Like,
taking a look, and some of the scores are favorable for both of these teams that are playing in this contest. Let's take a look. Prowlers up 2-1 against the Watertown Wolves. Black Bears just tied it up at 2-2 in Danbury. River Dragons with a 2-0 lead, but remember they had a couple of different multi-goal leads last night against the Monroe Moccasins, choosing not to give favor to their in-state rival. And then the Blue Ridge Bobcats up 1-0. Very, very important, but still very early in that game, as the Thunderbirds will hope for a victory for the team from Wytheville, Virginia. And a couple of games that have not begun yet in the Central Time Zone, Topeka and Indiana, playing in Minnesota and Baton Rouge and Biloxi. Breakers coming off a big win in the Battle of the Bottom last night. Thunderbirds will start this third period on a power play, and penalties have been part of the issue in the one-way traffic that we've seen, courtesy of the Thunderbirds thus far in this game. Coming into this third period, shots currently in favor of Twin City, 30-11. Maye currently sitting in the sin bin for 2 minutes for interference. There's been 2 power play goals in this game, but none of them have come 5-on-4. Both have come 5-on-3. One for each team. Roman Kramer on hat trick watch. Gus Ford still on 200 goal watch. I think they're waiting for the penalty to get put back up on the scoreboard. Once again, Jesse Lowell trying to take the puck with him on the faceoff. A couple of pleasantries exchanged with Nate Keeley. Zach White, the speedster of this Thunderbird team. Silky in his approach as well. Lowell settles it. Craig couldn't chop it down, goes all the way down. Connor Craig, just 22 years old. He's had a little skip in his step lately. Greco backhands it only as far to the blue line. White. Kaysen Gallant. Lavalier was moving cross crease. Now it's stuck in behind. 20 seconds to go on Maye's penalty. White back to Craig. Wasn't the kind of pass he wanted to get this shot off. On the rebound, backhanded. Lavalier with a save on Keeley. The Great Wall of Montreal, despite being down in this game, is not out. And he is a big reason, in fact, why the scoreline remains as close as it is. He has seen 20 more shots on net than Boris Babic has in this game. And while the Thunderbirds might be on the power play right now, that needs to change going ahead. The Rock Lobsters, one of, if not the best, third period team in the FPHL. Bartuccio Pereira, a good impediment there on the stick of Jan Salak, who was going for the shot. Maye already back up to his feet. Athens kills off the penalty that starts the third period. Thunderbirds still in possession, though. Athens has found it difficult to set up shop. And there's a giveaway from the Rock Lobsters. Not very forced either. Butita into the glove of Lavalier. All the shots on net through the first minute 33 seconds belonging to the Thunderbirds. Just coming off of that power play. The Thunderbirds have the lead, and they extend the lead. Right out of the face-off, the shot finds a way through the 5-hole of Lavalier, and Butita leads the line and lights the lamp. Not good enough from the Lobsters and not doing a lot of favors for their returning goaltender. Can we see a restoration of this Rock Lobster team that scored 4 goals in the third period last night? Too easy for Babic. Just not enough venom in the attacking approach of Athens. Michael Greco lets it skip out. Virgili chops in. Garcia head on a swivel. Leafers was heading his way. Greco steps up. Crowder avoids what could have potentially been a big hit from the Grecking ball. Unfriendly bounce away from Joe Mack. Lavalier out of the crease. Off the skate of Virgili. Greco out of the corner. Maie wants it. A shot pad save by Babic. John Butita unassisted on the face-off rip, his 13th of the year. This is a Thunderbird team that's playing with its head on fire through 43 minutes played, fighting like their life is on the line, and that's because it is. Meanwhile, the Rock Lobsters, who have been one of, if not the best 5-on-5 teams in the FPHL, have not found their speed in transition lately, and it could have been 4. Croucher up the wall. Lowell cuts in. Calgin snaps one into the glove of Babic. Only save number 12 for the Slovakian, who has had so many saves to make in his campaign. But you got to start somewhere. Those shots have to come from somewhere. There was one there from Calgin at the half wall. Face-off win for Croucher. Hard off the end boards from Kolatarsi. Lowell and Croucher crashing into the corner. Calgin ties it up. It's freed by Croucher, who runs into 2. Look at the speed from Kramer. Kolatarsi with good recovery. Kicked back in, took attention. Kolatarsi with a diving poke check. In all alone. Is it in? William Lavalier with a goal line save as Kramer was an inch away from his hat trick. Just a goal can change the complexion back in favor. Athens almost takes it off the stick of Jack Johansson. Greco off the skate of Johansson. Athens has just not been able to set up an offensive zone at all in this game, except on the 5-on-3 power play, and that's where they got their goal. Here's Neely, who was credited for that goal. Greco trying to force it through. Neely loses track. Butita, having just made it a 3-1 game, might have just made it 3-2. Let's find out. Ford, back to Milan, to Neely in the slot, waiting to rip the shot. Broken twig. Thunderbirds effectively down to 4 skaters here with Butita trying to defend. Just not enough net front presence there on the shot from Shinkarit. Mack. Maya was in a good spot. Shot pinballing around the slot. Now here's Schnapp. Hare gliding in the wind. On the shot there, ripped by Mott right into Lavalier. We go to the commercial timeout. The Thunderbirds have extended their lead to 3-1, courtesy of their captain, John Butita.
Hi, welcome to Chandler Jewelers. What would you like to learn today?
Looking for a new watch, something a little more fast, more precise.
Yeah, that one looks like it's seen better days. And let's get you something that can keep up.
Oh snap, I got a game to get to. Woo, plenty of time to spare.
This broadcast is brought to you by Thornton Brothers, your one-stop source for janitorial safety and packaging solutions, from restroom soap and protective eyewear to butcher paper and more. Thornton Brothers, they've got you covered. Right now, Lavalier has the Rock Lobsters covered. There just has not been enough offense generated on the other side of the ice. "36 shots faced by Lavalier in his return tonight. Doesn't feel like a great homecoming gift for the man from Montreal. The Thunderbirds will be a crucial win for them if they can hold on, not only in the playoff race, but a chance for former teammates to say that they didn't get beaten every game against the Rock Lobsters this season. Leafers trying to win it off of Garcia. Garcia does enough, though. Bondi back to him. Through Leafers. Puck just won't settle down here. Mack off the side of the net. Snapped one through bodies. Chris Mott digs one into the corner. Virgili accidentally puts Maya in a bit of a sticky situation. Schnapp on the forecheck. Croucher. When he gets going, he's tough to stop. Jesse Lowell, good little stick handle move. Fires the shot high up on Babbitt. Calgin here to help out Greco defensively. White tries to center from the right circle, blocked out by Greco. To the loose puck is Croucher. Calgin centering it, looking for Croucher. Lofted ahead. Took a bounce off the glove of Jesse Lowell. Greco off the bounce. That puck deflects into row number 2. Need a new piece of rubber. Still 13:07 remaining for Athens to find the remedy. Crowder. Off the glass, Greco. There's been a lot of chasing back into their own zone for Athens in this game. Keeley with his back to the play. Been so many scrums at the board for possessions too. Bartuccio Pereira with a good poke check. Forward finds Milan, who in turn finds Neely. Neely gets the skates together, but the Thunderbirds still find themselves with the flow of play. Neely has Mack up ahead. Flips it off the boards to Ford. Shinkarik. Maye loaded one up. Too much on it. Takes it back down. When are the Athens Rock Lobsters going to emerge in this game? Will it be here for Mack? In and out of the glove of Babic. Dumas, Passion, Carrick, good save, Lavalier. Dumas nailed the timing to get it back onto the forehand, but Lavalier was wise to it. With Athens down 2 goals in this game, they can no longer rely on their goaltender like they have so much. Not really just in this game, but over the past 2 nights. They were able to do it with McPhail last night because they had the early lead. They don't have it here. Schnapp in behind Croucher with a good hit on the agitator for the Thunderbirds. Maye takes a slash. Jesse Lowell barreling through, and it finds a way in. By any means necessary, you just want to scratch one back, and with the extra attacker for mere seconds, Lowell is able to make it a 1-goal game. Jesse from the block took it down low and took it through Babic. And what did we say? 1 goal is all it changes, is all that it takes to change the complexion of a game. But the Lobsters can't let their foot off the pedal now. Neely. Greco off the wall. He loves that shot. Babic looked like he knew that. Jesse Lowell with his 15th goal of the season. Only 5 games without points in just his last 32 contests now. Maye and Caljan get in on the assists. Ford with a face-off win. Athens can tie it up here through the skates of Ford. Almost bounced out to the net front. Neely was taken down his knees there with a hit from behind. Here's Ford. Kolatarsi with a fizz. What a glove save by Babic. This is as busy as the Slovakian has been in this game here in the 3rd period, as Athens seems like they're finally starting to rub some of the sand out of their eyes. Neely, Milan, and Ford. We've seen some tweaks from Garrett Rutledge in the forward lines. Shinkarik with a good pinch. Another good glove save by Babic. We've talked about Lavalier. The Thunderbirds, they themselves have to make sure that they don't rely on Babic through the last 10 minutes and 3 seconds of this game. Ford off the wall. Athens will return to Aikens Ford Arena tomorrow afternoon for Pucks and Paws night at 4:05 p.m. Twin City not doing themselves any favor with an icing. However, they'll be saved by the bell. We go to a commercial timeout. Rock Lobsters get one back through Jesse Lowell, and it's Athens 2, Twin City 3.
Thank you for calling Thornton Brothers. How may we help you?
When the call comes in, our team moves fast. Because in our world, every second counts. Every delivery means protecting people, product, and places no shortcuts, no excuses. From warehouses before sunrise to late-night drop-offs when the rest of the city sleeps, we're the steady hands behind the scenes. On the arena floor, in the back hallways, and down to the locker room supplies, we help keep Athens ready, stocked, supplied, and moving. The fans feel it, the players count on it, the community depends on it. Thornton Brothers, proud sponsor of the Athens Rock Lobsters.
Athens have found it difficult to drive the net in this game, but Lowell was able to carve out a path and scratch one back. And Athens have looked the better team for the last, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes. That's the first time they could say that tonight. Gus Ford, how much would it mean to him to make history, become the 6th player in FPHL history to reach the 200 goal mark and to do it in the building that means so much to him? Athens having to play on their heels once again here. Neely one-timing it to Milan, and now Ford leading the pack, puts it on a plate for Shinkarik, onto the backhand, left circle, Shinkarik back on the forehand, saved by Babic. Ford reaches out for it, stopped at the half wall by Maye, doesn't get the pass right to Shinkarik. Captain against captain here, Butita around Shinkarik, backhand gloved by Lavalier. Will the cardiac crustacean strike again? I can already feel my blood pressure rising in the third period. 9:16 left to go. Athens been one of the best, if not the best, third period team in the FPHL this year. Mack, so important at the dot, wins the faceoff. Virgili knows where his line mates are, is able to find Joe Mack. Mack trying to ease it towards the slot, never reached Leafers. Farmer got the better of Virgili on the hit that was initiated by the Swede. All the way down, and it's icing against Athens. Every now and then it sounds like there's like a seal barking over the microphone. I have no idea what's going on. Greco getting into it with Gallant. And I believe both will sit. Gallant with a smile on his face. Greco doesn't seem as happy about the situation. That's just in the blood of Michael Greco. Does not care much if You're an opponent or a former teammate, he's going to play you just as hard. Looks like we're in a skate four aside. Shinkarik, Milan, Ford, and Neely. That's a heck of a four-man unit. But here's Kramer, the man who has 2 goals tonight, in the hopes of a hat trick. Neely collides with Ford. Milan poking in at White. Still got the pass off and back to Hanley. Kramer, unselfish, sets up Johansson in turn. Gus Ford attempting the trickery, that of which his teammates have seen so much in their favor. Not so much anymore. Babic, I think, got the helmet on that one, headed it like a soccer ball. Minute remaining of 4-on-4. And here is Ford. Luke Croucher. It's a great effort to get the puck to Milan. Farmer was glued to Milan, though. Cross-ice pass doesn't go for Maye. Lavalier was pushing it over to Maye, took his eye off the puck. Croucher, that's brilliant. Joe Mack generating speed. Getting down low. Low! Babic has been brilliant. And he's been busier in the third. Gallant and Greco come back out. Six and a half minutes remaining as the Thunderbirds hope they have their first win against the Rock Lobsters this season. Ford to the slot. Leafers hoping for the rebound. Babic kicks it away. Philip Vergili gets shouldered into the glass by Hanley, but still has the puck. Leafers. Kolatarsi attempts the one-timer. Leafers back for Ford. Vergili makes the extra pass to his good friend Carter Shinkarik. It's a laser into the back of the net. Athens ties it up, and it's Captain Fantastic. How fantastic is that? Now there are goals for each captain in this game, both wearing the number 14. Shinkarik with goal number 21 on the year. The man who leads the FPHL in points for defensemen. And how many times have we seen performances just like this from the Rock Lobsters this season to leave it late? They have found new life in the third. And the fire of the Lobsters has sucked a bit of the oxygen out of the building. Look at Salak, though. So silky despite his big frame. Looks like the Thunderbirds are going to go back up a man here. Not a great time to take a penalty for Athens. They have done so well here in the third period. Jonathan Bartuccio Pereira sits for 2. JBP not a happy man. Twice in a row now he's slammed the water bottle down in the penalty box. Athens have not been happy about the penalties called against them in this game. They now have to kill off yet another Thunderbird power play. Look at the speed of Connor Craig. Lowell trying to roll the dice a little bit on the shorthand, give it up to Zach White. Penalty box attendant a little bit wet due to the water bottle thrown by Bartuccio Pereira. Puck loose in the slot. About 5 or 6 sticks coming together there. Mack keeping a watchful eye on Zach White. Kramer feeds it back up into the corner. Here's Kramer for the hat trick. Makes the extra pass. White was down low. Kramer. Cross-line pass, Lavalier. It clogs off his pad. And it looks like Michael Greco has drawn a penalty in the corner. And that'll end the power play for the Thunderbirds early. Michael Greco still hasn't gotten up. We go to the commercial timeout here. Last one of regulation. Rock Lobsters have 2. They've tied it up. Let's see if they can win this game.
As a hockey player, my health is everything to me. When I got injured,
I didn't just worry about missing games. I worried about my future in the sport I love. From the moment I met you and your team at Piedmont Athens Regional, you gave me confidence. Your expertise, your care, your support, it all reassured me from the very start. Because of you, I've been able to recover, rebuild, and get back to playing the sport I love. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for me in my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dream alive. Thanks to Dr. Graff and Piedmont Athens Regional, I get to keep playing the game I love.
Now it's the Thunderbird fans who are voicing their displeasure against the calls of the officials. Looks like there's an extra man in the box joining Keeley. So what's going to be the call here? Still not a number of time put up on the board for the penalty to Keeley, who brought Greco down to the ice in the corner. Keeley called for high sticking, but Dumas is in there with him as well. Still trying to iron out, I think, what exactly the penalties are. If you hear my silence here on the broadcast, it's a silence that is analytical, trying to figure out what's going on. Neely seems to think it's a joke. And Neely's fired up as Dumas is heading back toward the Thunderbird bench. Thought it was usually no take-sees, back-sees in the penalty world, but I guess not. Garrett Rutledge very angry, out of your picture on the Athens bench. You know, actually he doesn't look that angry. I've seen him about 10 times angrier than that. Believe it'll be 4-on-4 for 34 seconds. Athens will then find themselves on a power play. So it's still good news for the Rock Lobsters. This perhaps not as good as they hoped it would be. Ford trying to kick at the face-off. Neely settles it down. Milan. Shot that pops off of Babic. Ford tied up by Johansson in the corner. Neely up the wall to Milan. Wheeling away from the right circle, back to the point. Neely centers it. Shinkarik got a touch, took it towards the net, but not with really any sting. Bartucci Pereira back into play, but Salak shot well wide. And a little bit of overcommitment there from the Thunderbirds. Neely can't get it past Farmer. Virgili trying to stiff arm Farmer away. Athens reloading out of their own ice. Less than 3 minutes to go. A minute to go on the man advantage. Milan breezes through. Poked away from him. Virgili, good step up. Off the end boards. Falls back to Milan. Shinkarik through traffic. Took a piece of Neely. Virgili can't spin it towards the Slovakian. A shot, glove save by Lavalier. Chris Mott trying to make something happen shorthanded. There's been only 3 shorthanded goals scored by the Thunderbirds this season. Joe Mack trying to sweep it back to Shinkarik, and he succeeds in that effort. Penalty coming to an end. Leafers to Mack. Keeley back on the ice. Babic with a save. No rebound for Athens. Shinkarik going north. Virgili to Leafers. Can't shovel it in. Sent down by the Thunderbirds. No icing against Twin City either. Leafers sent to the glass by Farmer. Game continuing to get more physical. Still 80 seconds left of play in regulation. Lowell finds it on the end of his stick. Babic covers up. 1:08 remaining in regulation. Let's take a quick look at scores around the FPHL. A 4-2 game in Columbus. We saw something similar last night. Bobcats lead 2-0. Huge for the Thunderbirds. Puck falls back to the Thunderbirds on the faceoff. Dowen scratching the roof. Greco swats at it. White comes free with it. Centering pass. Not really any convincing shot there from Keeley. Look at the speed of Milan. Trickles in behind. Ford was hoping there was a teammate behind him. Keeley. Ooh, a cross-crease pass. Milan plays it off a window pane himself. Puck played with a high stick. My, oh my. This game has a temperature to it that it did not have. It was tepid at times through the first 40 minutes played. But now temperatures starting to pick up, tempers starting to flare. And Athens looking more like themselves. Look at the speed of Gallant chasing down Joe Colatarsi. Zach White brought down by Joe Mack. Fans want a penalty, they won't get it. 8 seconds left. Game on the end of the stick of Carter Shinkarik. Colatarsi on a one-timer. Picked up out around the net, and we are going to overtime. These are two good overtime teams that will face off against one another for 5 minutes, 3-on-3. The Rock Lobsters 7-0 in games that needed extra hockey this year. The Thunderbirds 3-1. Stay tuned here. You're not going to want to miss it. 5 minutes of 3-on-3 coming up after this.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
These are two very good 3-on-3 teams this year. We'll see who are the 2-3-man units put out here. Looks like it'll be Milan, Ford, and Shinkarik. For the Thunderbirds, White, Kramer, and Craig. These are two speedy trios, to say the least. Looks like Shinkarik's going to take the face-off here. Milan just gets it back to Lavalier. Was probably his best option. Who plays it off the wall. Here's Ford. Milan to his left. Carter Shinkarik. You can feel the blood vessels contract in my upper body right now. Getting a little lightheaded. Ford to Milan. Back to Ford! That one off the side netting. A whisker away from 200. Kramer asked for the change. So will Milan. Mack on in his place. White not happy with the route out in front of him. And now he'll make way. Johansson. Behind him is Salak. Two big men on this triumvirate. Keeley to Johansson. Blocked out by Shinkarik, who's been on the ice now for 1:20, as has Ford. Johansson for Salak. Salak to the crease. Didn't get a shot off. Has a pass out in front. Keeley saved by Lavalier. Shinkarik getting on his horse. Mack takes it over the line. Shot saved by Babick and out of play. Business is really starting to pick up here at the Fairgrounds. Looks like we might have a timeout here. Called by Garrett Rutledge. Maybe trying to draw something up for this offensive zone faceoff. The three who were out on the ice for Athens were all forwards. Mack, Lowell, and Neely. We'll see if the same trio comes back out. A chance again to thank you all for tuning in tonight. The 444 of you are watching on the YouTube side. If you haven't already, subscribe so in the future you could play a part in our world-famous chat, like the stream, and ring the bell to stay notified of all future Rock Lobster content, including Coach's Corners, player interviews, highlight reels, and more. We still got to try and find the difference maker, the decider, the winner in this game. Schnapp, Gallant, and Farmer. Neely, Ford, and Milan. That seems like the symbol of a coach who's trying to end this game right here and right now. Ford with the face-off win. Milan protects. Gets stopped by Schnapp. Ford frees it up with the check. Ford breaks the stick. Just tells the man to get on. Kaysen Gallant on a breakaway scores! Gus Ford has broken many a stick on this road trip. And that could not come at a more inopportune time. Kaysen Gallant with a breakaway to finish it. And Athens is defeated in overtime for the first time this season. It was a great effort from the Rock Lobsters in the third period, but it came too little too late. And with the game on the end of his stick against his former team, the Red Deer Rocket made no mistake. And he finishes off Athens in overtime for the first time this season. Rock Lobsters will earn a point from the contest. They put a 1 in the overtime loss column for the first time today, for the first time this year. They'll move to 114 points. Tough loss to swallow for the Rock Lobsters, but they really won't have much chance to ruminate on it. They'll have to get back on the bus and head back home to the Classic City for a game tomorrow afternoon, Pucks and Paws at 4:05 p.m. at Athens Ford Arena. Once again, thank all of you for tuning in to this broadcast tonight. Still got a lot more hockey left to go in this 5-game span. The second game of 4 games coming up. The Rock Lobsters take on their Continental Division rival, the Monroe Moccasins, tomorrow afternoon. We'll hope you'll be there. It's Pucks and Paws tomorrow in the tank. This is Matt Teen Rad here at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena tonight. The Rock Lobsters fall to the Thunderbirds for the first time this season, 4-3 in overtime.